Welcome to another Saigon Sunday Sessions with me, your host, Niall Mackay. And I'm joined, as always, with my reluctant but beautiful wife, Adri Lopez Mackay. She hates me full naming her. We are out for an evening walk with Biscuit, and as you know by now, Saigon Sunday Sessions are just a bit of a random chat, so we thought we'd throw on the microphones, turn on the camera, and have a bit of a talk as we walk with Biscuit. It is still rainy season in Saigon, and it was big rain today, which means it's actually really cool and pleasant right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still humid.
You think so?
A little bit.
I like it. It's nice. So we're going to go for a walk along the Saigon River here in Tan Mi Loi. And we're going to go to one of the newest places, which is Binh Canh by night, which is really, really cool. So one of the things that I think has been amazing in Saigon, we've seen develop over the last couple of years, has been the use of the river, right?
Really underutilized when we first got here over the last few years. They've been revitalizing the waterfronts and making better use of them, which has been excellent.
Well, somebody told me that has been like a plan. I mean, I don't know how city planning works in any city, never mind a city we don't speak the language, but somebody told me they had like consultants over here from Europe, and they were like analyzing how can they make the most out of the river, which is really cool because you remember what it was like. It seems so long ago when that riverfront right at the end of Win Way Walking Street, like the main part of Saigon River, downtown Saigon, was like walled off. If you got a peek behind it, you could just see it was like an old... Oh. We got one of Biscuit's friends coming to say hello.
/ enemies.
I was kidding when I said friend. Biscuit has some enemies, it's quite funny. She has a lot of friends, but she has some enemies as well. We're gonna do the old cross the road now. Just walk straight across.
I saw a kid yesterday or the day before. He was like, clearly the definition of his parents told him just walk without looking. He was walking the street, crossing the street like this.
Yeah, so I mean, if you could see there, when you cross the road, you literally do just walk. You don't look. And the cars and everything goes around you, and it's just like driving. It's like water. Biscuit's being a brat right now. If anyone has a Frenchie, they'll know what a Frenchie's like. When they don't want to walk, they just stop. But yeah, so it's really cool to see, because not only are they cleaning up the river, physically it looks cleaner. There was somebody, I showed somebody a video the other day of the Saigon River. It was Chelsea, my editor in the Philippines, and she was like, wow, it's so clean. And I was like, well, maybe it looks clean. I don't know how clean it actually is. I think there's probably a lot of dirty stuff in there that you wouldn't want to use, or not use, you wouldn't want to touch your body. But it is relatively clean, I think, for a big city, especially a big city in a developing country. And more they're adding stuff to it that makes it more usable. So where we're going right now is, we don't go that often, but it's definitely one of my favorite spots in Saigon. It's called Binh Canh by night, and I think, did somebody say it's owned by Novaland? We haven't been in a while. The last time we were there, they were setting up a race track, remember? For like...
Yeah. Because it's been rainy season, so...
That'd be cool if that was open.
It's been raining a lot at night.
Yeah. I think it used to be a golf driving range or something like that. No?
Don't know. It looked like it was going to be developed as a sporting complex by Novaland, actually, and then I think they probably abandoned it and sold the land to another developer.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
There's COVID. That was another COVID casualty, right? I think, like COVID happened,
Yeah,
and they stopped the development. Oh, this is another one of Biscuit's enemies.
Nah, they're okay. They're okay. Come on.
Just something that you just have to love about Saigon. I mean, these guys set up every night. Plastic stools. You can buy a beer, bop sao day. You can buy a smoothie, some fried food. I don't know, I love this city. It's just things like this make it so amazing.
It's a shame because the last couple nights the sunset's been really epic, and today the sun has just gone behind the clouds.
Well, even like half an hour ago the sun was pretty epic, but it's gone now. But yeah, so where we're going, this was just a piece of junk land. Obviously you can see we're on the river and it's quite nice, but it's not used much. We're by a busy highway essentially. It's just some plastic chairs. They actually have put some money into it, and there's like 4 or 5 different restaurants. So there's like Italian, there's a barbecue place. What's the other one again? We've had the Italian.
There's like a little food court kind
a
of
little
thing.
food court where you can get your fried food. And then obviously you can get a beer as well. But it's a really nice spot to sit at sunset, which unfortunately tonight we're not going to get the best sunset. But if you can see behind me in the distance, that's District 1. You can see Bitexco. You can see the main city. So it's pretty sweet. Then you see behind me there, we got Landmark 81. I said it wasn't humid, but I'm pretty humid now once we've started walking. But yeah, we were just talking about a lot of the water, the developments along the river is not just downtown D1, which is super nice. They've got, I keep always wanting to call it our house. What's it called again? The place right in D1.
ROS.
ROS is like right on the water. It's super nice. It's not cheap, but it's a nice place. Go on happy hour if you're like me and you want to save some money.
There's quite a few coffee shops now,
There's
like Cat and Nat.
Cat and Nat.
Even on the opposite side, they've developed the park with
oh yeah.
All those cafes there as well.
Again, used to be swamp, just like all of this not that long ago. And then now on the other side of the river from Winway Walking Street, they built a park. There's a walkway, river's getting cleaned up. Yeah, it's just another good use of space. I'm just really excited that Saigon is using the river. Like every city in the world used to, I've said this before to you, right? Every city's river used to be disgusting. Like I've read stories of how black the Thames used to be. In Melbourne, the river there used to be.
I mean, the river in the Paris Olympics wasn't even.
Yeah, right.
You couldn't go in the Seine. You can't go in. You don't want to go in the Saigon River either.
I really don't like it when people like make fun of Vietnam. Like, oh, it's Vietnam. You're like, no, it's like that around the world. And yeah, like I remember I read about Melbourne. The coal mines used to be in the city, and the river was disgusting.
Yeah, well, every city goes through like that industrial period, and then focuses more on what they can do to attract tourists and revitalize it for the citizens. And I think Saigon is in that period. Yeah.
Like we always say, it's just a really exciting period, a really exciting phase. And then being here, being able to use it, like I remember we used to talk about it. Like, where can we go on the river to hang out? Where can we go for food or to have a beer? And just there was nowhere really to go. And then you were just mentioning in Tao Dien, there's Clay, which is a really nice restaurant on the river. Satsuma House, also on the river. They built a children's playground in Tao Dien. So this is the thing, right, with the Saigon River. At a distance, you're like, oh, it's not that dirty. And then when you get a bit closer and you have a look, it's full of trash. I mean, not full, I guess, but there's a lot of trash, which we'll see further up here. And you know, you go to places like District 4, right? That canal is black, which is connected to the Saigon River. Because I don't think, well, it's got a lot of those houses that are just backed onto the river, right, on stilts. Which I think their bathrooms just drop right into the canal. So the canal is black from wastewater and it stinks as well. Oh yeah, you can see there. When it's low tide, it can be worse because it collects. So, you know, there's a few things in this country that annoy you that don't happen in other countries. We've talked about it before. the Grab drivers peeing on the street has to be up there number one, and it happens like all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if we pass one. So many things that are amazing as well. But the thing that makes me maybe the most angry, even angrier than when I see somebody peeing right next to a school, you will literally see people driving over a bridge, over a body of water, and they'll throw their trash off the bike, sometimes out the car, and throw it over into the water. I mean, I guess it's just education. I don't think anyone in Vietnam who has education would do that, which is unfortunate. It's the same the world over, right? We talked about how Texas had to have a campaign called Don't Mess with Texas. Even when I was in Australia lately, there was signs up saying no littering, you get a fine. They would obviously enforce those fines, definitely in Australia where it's a police state. Here, they probably have those rules and they have those fines, but they don't enforce them. And so with that lack of education, some people will just throw their trash into the water. And honestly, nothing infuriates me more when I see that. There was one time I was driving and the guy opened his window in the car next to me and threw his trash out the window. So that's the kind of downsides of Vietnam. You can probably also tell from this video, which most people wouldn't tell you, nobody walks in Vietnam. We're like weirdos right now because we're walking. As you can see, it's rush hour right now, so there's a lot of bikes on the road, a lot of cars as well. But the sidewalks aren't really made for walking. They're often blocked by bikes that are parked. Where we're about to walk, it's covered with trees. It's going to be flooded. So we're taking a bit of a walk to get here. As an excuse to take Biscuit, who's actually walking pretty good right now. But plastic pollution in Vietnam is a massive problem. I think, what is it, Vietnam is like the 7th highest plastic polluter in the world.
Maybe less than that.
Some beaches are absolutely covered in plastic trash. It's absolutely disgusting. But then you can go to some beaches on a different coast or with a different current and they're fine. But you know, as I mentioned with education, it is getting better. They are educating people. I mean, kids in school these days are so clued up, doing projects on littering and things like that. So we are here at Binh Canh by night. The sign looks like it's maybe not survived rainy season already. But this is now one of my favourite spots. I mean, luckily we live nearby. I don't know if I would travel far to get here. We've had a couple of friends come out here, but I feel pretty lucky that this is on our doorstep. As I said, we haven't been here for a while, mostly because it's been rainy season. Rainy season does stop you doing a lot of things. But once you get in, it's like a little sanctuary. It's nice. I'm excited to go and see if the racetrack is open. So we got Boathouse, which I think is barbecue, Chill House, no idea. Mamma Mia, pizza, pasta and steak, which is good. We've eaten there before. And then the last one is La La Land, which we have not been to yet. But, oh, it's so quiet already.
Got a Christmas tree?
Wait, well, it's November 12th and Christmas music's coming.
Little shops.
I've only heard Mariah Carey once so far, but it's coming. Oh, it's so quiet. I think, yeah, rainy season. I mean, if it rains, this place is obviously just going to be dead. There's like a little marina here as well. It's nice and cool with the breeze. It's a shame we're not going to get a sunset at all, but sometimes the sunset here is absolutely epic. It rains at that time when people are maybe going to come out quite often as well.
Yeah, like
so, you know,
5 o'clock,
yeah.
4 o'clock.
And yeah, it's a bit quiet right now because it's rainy season, but I mean, this was packed when we were here.
It's
in
also
the dry
always
season.
early.
It is quite early, yeah. We've been here, it gets busy at 7, right? Like dinner time.
Yeah.
6 to 8. We are here really early, actually.
Look at the
Look at this.
Let's go.
You and Biscuit gonna get in? It's like when I lived in Australia and at Christmas they have like snowmen and things like that. Like, it doesn't ever snow here. So many Vietnamese people have never even seen snow.
Biscuit's excited for it.
Biscuit just had her birthday last week. She turned 6 years old. It did make me realise we've had Biscuit longer than I've been doing the podcast. And when I first started the podcast, Biscuit would come and sit next to me and the guest in our old front room and snore.
Yeah.
And you could hear her in the background snoring before I had better mics, better equipment, better knowledge. What's Saigon and M and love M, Adri?
An is like the pronoun for guys. M is the pronoun for a younger person.
So basically, guy loves girl. All right, well, that was a thirsty walk. I think it's time for a beer, right? Yeah, we haven't actually been there yet. They do live music, right? That's why there's all these instruments behind us.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's like 2 instruments, or 3 instruments behind us, and then more over there. Or do you want to go check out and see if that racetrack is on?
Race? Oh, sure.
So we're here at Binh Canh by night. We went to order a beer, and we're going to get Budweiser to celebrate Adri's Americanness, because, as you know, she's so proud to be an American. And the guy before we even ordered was like, "Oh, we have a special on Budweiser tonight. It's 29k a Budweiser," which is, you know, your conversion rate. That's like $1.
Excuse me? Do you want ice?
Thank
Because
you.
you.
this is cold already.
No ice.
No, that's
it's
okay.
I will open for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Cheers. 29k a Bud. That's $1.20 for Budweiser. Cheers. Doesn't taste anything like Budweiser.
It's because it's made in Asia.
We've had this before, and somebody told me it's made with rice, not grain. It does say. It does say processed from the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. You need to look up the real Budweiser. I don't know if the real Budweiser is used with
Rice? I
rice.
highly doubt it.
It tastes like water flavored beer. Adri's here as well, obviously, but she's not on camera right now. But yeah, it tastes like water flavored beer, which is not a bad thing. It's just a nice, easy drinking beer. But it's not, it doesn't, see, this thing with Budweiser has a distinctive taste, for good or for bad. It tastes like Budweiser, like Miller Lite tastes like Miller Lite, Coors Light tastes like Coors Light. That doesn't mean it's good, it just has a specific flavor. This does not taste like any of these. But I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless. Thanks for listening, watching, tuning in to this episode of a Vietnam podcast, Saigon Sunday Sessions. Let me know if you have any ideas, what you want us to talk about, what you want to share, what you want me to tell you about. As you know already, they're a bit more of a casual chat. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We talked some nonsense about the Saigon River. It's not that bad. It's not that great. You should come to Binh Canh by night. If you're looking for something to do in Saigon, it's a really, really cool spot, especially when it's not rainy season as well. Biscuit looks like she's bored. She probably wants to go home already. Remember, turn on notifications, follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and go to patreon.com/Vietnam podcast to join our community.
Wait.
And then you could be joining me having a beer at Binh Canh by night. Cheers.